Welcome back to All Your Tech. As always, I'm Brian. Today we're taking a look at 3D printing a modular hydroponic tower. Let's get into it. As more of us move to densely populated urban areas, it becomes even more important to be able to grow food sustainably and with limited space. That's where hydroponics comes into play. Rather than using dirt and soil as your medium to grow a plant, you're simply using a nutrient-rich water solution. In this case, I've 3D printed a modular tower that gives you a lot of vertical growing space so you can grow a lot more fruits and vegetables in a condensed area. Now, of course, you don't necessarily need 3D printing for this. In fact, my son and some of his classmates built this hydroponic system using just a steel gutter, some wooden blocks, some neti pots, a bucket, a pump, and some hose. It's a very simple concept, but as you can see, the plants are growing and thriving. They were all started from seeds, and they're doing great. I think the thing that really excites me about all of this is not only the ability to 3D print this at home and grow your own vegetables and everything else, but the fact that in the future, if we really plan on living on other planets like Mars, our planned trips to Mars, we're going to have to get good at 3D printing and growing our own vegetables in a sustainable way. Now, the cool thing about this is 3D printing makes just about anything you can imagine possible. If you're good enough with CAD, you have the materials, and you have some time and patience, you can make pretty much anything. I think one of the coolest parts of this project is actually this 5-gallon bucket cover. If you flip it on the other side, you can see what I mean. The complexity of this is pretty crazy. You have a small print bed on most 3D printers, so the person designed this to be modular. It has 6 different pieces that you print and these locking rings. And then it has these little pieces that slide in here. So you have an area where your power cord can go and also a hole for filling up with water. As you can see, it's all held together with basic machine screws. And I've got to say, it works pretty well. Now, I found a whole bunch of systems, a whole bunch of different designs online. This one sort of resonated with me. I thought it looked great and the functionality seemed to be there. So what are the pieces that you actually need to print? Well, the cool thing is that all of the tubing and everything else goes through the center of this. The pump sits down in the bucket or whatever container you have that all of this is stacked up top of. And then the tubing for the pump runs right up the center. This is what your actual plant goes into. You're gonna put something like rock wool in here and place your seeds so that they can sprout. The roots have the place to grow, and of course, water can flow through this nice and easily. Now, all of this, like I said, just kind of slips together. So you just place it in and twist. It's really well designed and thought out. And as you can see, the water, as it drips down, is gonna go right onto these roots. So it's gonna get plenty of exposure to that nutrient-rich water that we have. So once we have this main piece printed, we've got the 3 pots that our plants are gonna go into. We need a dispersion chamber. This is one of the top pieces. And what ends up happening here is the plastic tubing connects to this, water flows upward, and as you can see, it sort of spills off these sides, and then these holes that are in here are what disperse the water, kind of drip it down evenly across all of the plant tops. And so this just secures to the top here, and as you can see, what a nice design. Now, of course, the pump is reasonably high pressure, so water is going to be spraying out of the top here. And so for that, you have this lid that attaches here, and that keeps any spray or dripping to a minimum. Now, the cool thing about all this is that you can stack it. It's modular. So you want to add another 3, that's all you have to do. 3 more, all right. Just attach it once again. And now we've got 9 plants that we can plant in this. And I could keep going higher if I wanted to. Now, what if some of your plants are taller than others or they take up more space? Well, there are various size spacers that you can 3D print as well. And what those will do is they'll sort of move these apart. I'll show you right here. And now there's more vertical space for the plants to grow. Now I'm going to give you a couple tips. I printed all of this out of PETG. I think PETG is the right material to use here, not only because it's durable, but it's going to hold up better for outdoor use. I'm going to set mine up in the garden, and I want something that's not going to melt. If you watched my video on PLA versus PETG, you'll know that PLA will actually melt at the temperatures it's going to experience outdoors. So you're also going to need some plastic tubing and a submersible water pump. I'm going to leave all these down in the description below so you know exactly what you need to purchase. I went through a lot of research trying to figure all this out, and so I'm going to help you out and hopefully save you a little bit of time. Now, other printing considerations. When I first started this, I was printing these with 20% infill. That just doesn't seem necessary with PETG. So I went down to 5% infill, and that cut several hours off of each component's print time. I also increased the layer heights to 0.3 millimeters instead of 0.2. Honestly, if you have a 0.6 or a 0.8 nozzle, you could go even higher, and I think it would still keep its structural integrity while cutting those print times down drastically. Each one of these segments can take 7 or 8 hours to print, and so cutting just a couple hours or a few hours off is going to make this job a lot quicker and easier. Now, to kick off the assembly, I'm going to start with my 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to take my submersible pump out. This is an 800-gallon per hour pump, but it's also adjustable flow. Depending on how tall you have this, you'll be able to adjust the flow. That's going to prevent water from spraying everywhere. We'll drop our pump into the bucket, and then we'll run the power cord up through one of the holes. Now, one of our 3D printed lid parts has this piece for an electrical cord. So you just pop that in, and now you've got this nice little slot that your electrical cord can go through. Now, I've got a 25-foot roll of 3/8-inch plastic tubing, and this should be able to connect directly onto the bottom of the dispersion plate. We'll go ahead and test that out, fingers crossed. And honestly, that couldn't fit any better. That is perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure this out, and we're going to give ourselves plenty of extra length of tubing, and we'll just put that in the bottom of the bucket. Reason for that is I might want to actually make this taller later down the road, and so I want to have extra tubing, so I have that option. Once we're happy with the length of our tubing, we're going to go ahead and thread it through that center hole in our tower. Now that we have the tubing threaded all the way down the center, we're going to go ahead and attach this end down in the bucket to our pump. Now that we have this assembled, the last thing we need to do is fill it up with water. Now that it's full, of course, got to plug it in. Hope all goes well. All right, as you can see, we need to turn down the flow to the pump. Almost a success. All right, we're getting quite a bit of splashing, but I've got an idea. I'm going to add this extension to the top here so the water has longer to flow up before it hits this piece. We're close. And there we go. By adding a couple extensions to the top here, we were able to get it high enough to where the water isn't shooting out and just completely splashing against this. You can also print an enclosed version of this that doesn't have these holes. That might work well as well. This is kind of the thing about 3D printing, is sometimes this stuff is a little bit trial and error, but you can always come up with a solution if you get creative with it. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up printing at least 2 more extensions so that I can put one in between each of these segments and space out the plants a little bit more. But let's see how well the water is being dispersed within the pots that the actual plants themselves go into. I'm really impressed with how well the water is actually dispersed within this. The other kind of cool thing is it adds kind of a fountain water sound to your garden, and that's always nice and relaxing in my opinion. Now, of course, you can't just put plants in this thing and expect them to thrive. You've got to add nutrients to the water. I went with a dry nutrient system. It's a little bit cheaper this way, about $10, $15 less expensive, and you get more product out of it. Now, the reason there are multiple bags is you have one for sort of the growth period of the vegetables and another one for the flowering and actual vegetative part where they grow the vegetables. And for each of those, it needs slightly different macronutrients in the water. There are dozens of companies that make various types of nutrient packets that you can buy. This just happens to be the ones that I'm going to test with. Just about 48 hours have passed since the last time we took a look at this, and it's been raining like crazy, so I haven't had a lot of time out here. What I did go ahead and do, though, is printed a new cap for this. It no longer has the holes around the side. This one's a solid cap, and now we no longer have the water dripping and splashing out. The other thing I've done is 3D printed multiple 120 millimeter spacers that go between each of the planter levels. I've also printed 2 more of the planters themselves. We now have a total of 12 planting areas that we can put in here. If you are going to print this, a couple things to note. This uses a lot of PETG if you're going to print it, even with the 0.3 millimeter layer height. I went through 2.5 rolls of white filament for this, and I went through about an entire roll of the black filament for the Jiffy Pot liners. Each section of this runs about $3 to $4 to print, which isn't too bad. If you look online, these are pretty expensive to build a decent hydroponic system. And I've got to say, so far, just using this for a couple days, this is probably one of the most useful 3D prints that I've built with my 3D printer. As you can see, I put vegetables in almost all of the spots. We've got apocalypse peppers, which are some of the hottest peppers on the planet. We've got tomatoes, we've got basil, we've got oregano, we've got rosemary, and we've got some spearmint. So we're going to run this and see how these all do. I imagine that naturally some of the plants are going to do better than others. You're not going to want to do things like melons, watermelons, big vines like cucumbers, for example. But I think for the most part, these should do pretty well in this setup. So far, really the only thing I would do over on this is I would go with a slightly smaller pump. This one I've got turned all the way down. It does 800 gallons per hour, about 3,000 liters per hour, and I think you could go with half that or even a third of that volume. I was concerned that I wouldn't get the pump height to actually power this at the height that I wanted, because you can see this is already about 5 feet tall or so, but that isn't a concern. As you can see, the thing has plenty of pressure. Let me know if you have any thoughts or questions in the comments down below. I think this is one that's going to warrant a follow-up here in a few weeks just to see how everything's doing and how this is holding up. But so far I'm pretty impressed. Till next time, thanks everyone. See ya.